This lesson is part 2 of a 3-part series on creating a side scroller. Now that our character can move left and right, it's time to give it jumping functionalities. For this lesson, we are going to create the illusion of gravity with a few simple addition and subtraction tricks. We will also be implementing a timer, which will be our control for how often we can activate our character's jump. We are going to need 4 variables, which we can put underneath the variables we have for player X and player Y. A gravity variable set to 1, which will represent the force that grounds our character. Speed set to 0, which will represent the speed of the gravitational force. A timer set to 0, and a timer speed variable set to 0 as well. The next thing we're going to do is go into the scope of function draw and apply our gravity to our character's Y position. We can do this by typing in speed equals speed plus gravity. So as our sketch runs, the value of our speed variable will increase. Then we're going to type player Y equals player Y plus speed. So as our speed increases, our player's Y value will gradually increase. Before we add in any key interactions, let's make it so our character isn't falling through the ground. This will be just like the boundaries we already created, but for the Y position instead of player X. We can say, if player Y is greater than 350, then player Y should equal 350. So we'll do that now. If player Y is greater than 350, then it will equal 350. For our final step, we're going to use the timer we created in combination with a key interaction. Let's start by typing timer equals timer plus timer S. Make sure that you do this outside of the curly brackets that we just created. So we'll do that down here. Timer equals timer plus timer S. Our timer won't be activated until we press our jump button. So after this, let's type if key is down, and we'll add 87 as the key code for W, but we can use 32 if we prefer jumping with the spacebar. And if our timer is equal to 0, then we should set our timer speed equal to 1, which will make our timer start counting, and speed should be set to equal -15, which will be the power of our character's lift. If you want to control how high your character jumps, then the -15 is the number you want to mess around with. Now we're going to make a new if statement, and we're going to type if our timer is greater than 30, then our timer should equal 0, and our timer speed should equal 0. We basically said that when our timer reaches a number higher than 30, we want to reset our timer to 0 to allow our character to jump again. If your character is jumping again before it hits the ground, or if it's taking too long to jump again after it hits the ground, then you will want to change the number 30 until it looks right. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with all of our newest videos.